What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, I want to talk about some potential timelines we can expect this current Ripple SEC case to settle if it is in fact going to end via a settlement. Now we know this case can either go to summary judgment or settle. Guys, I want to talk about when we could expect a settlement to come in. The original thinking was that the SEC would settle this case before they hand over the Bill Hidden Ethereum free pass emails, but guys, it's been recently pointed out by many lawyers following this case that Ripple was always going to get their hands on these emails, so it is very likely that Ripple was refusing to settle until the SEC handed them over. Guys, I want to go over some evidence for why the SEC should be convinced that they need to settle this case, and also go over some timelines for when we should expect this to happen. Guys, we have a bunch to cover in this video, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always guys, your support means so much to this channel. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below and turn on bell notifications. These three simple things will go such a long way in helping this channel grow, and it really does mean so much to me. If you guys are ever looking for a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out the link for Uphold down in the description below. Uphold is one of my favorite exchanges and a great place to buy and sell XRP. With that said though guys, let's jump right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, real quick, make sure you do not miss Moomoo's promotion going on right now. I am getting so many DMs of people saying I won this free stock, I won this free stock. Guys, do not miss out on this. If you sign up with Moomoo using the link in the description of this video, you could get 15 free stocks, and if you sign up using my link, you'll also get an extra $10 in your account. Not only that, but your chance of winning a Tesla stock has actually doubled right now. So guys, do not miss out on this opportunity. Go sign up with Moomoo now to get your free stocks. So guys, I want to start out this video and go over some very weird behavior we have been seeing out of the SEC as of recent, because guys, it really does look like the SEC is not fighting this case as hard as they had been in the past. If you take a look at this came out just the other day. The SEC actually elected not to try to fight both Spendabits and another party from filing amicus briefs in this case. And guys, this is in stark contrast to what we had seen in the past. In the past, the SEC used to fight tooth and nail over every single document in this case. They used to try to delay everything at all costs, and they really just tried to make things as difficult as possible for Ripple. Well, what we see right here is that the SEC is really starting to give up on fighting tooth and nail on most of these issues. Right here, the SEC is saying they take no position on some of the amicus briefs being filed in this case, and this is just something we would have never expected to see in the past. We actually saw another instance of this also when we saw the SEC choose not to appeal Judge Torres' decision to force them to hand over the Bill Hidden Ethereum free pass emails. Now, this was actually shocking to a lot of people following this case. Almost every single lawyer I was following said that they thought the SEC would appeal this decision in some way. Well, guys, the SEC decided not to appeal this decision, despite the fact they could have delayed handing over the Bill Hidden Ethereum free pass emails for at least 2 more months. Once again, this was shocking because up until this point, we have seen the SEC delay this case at every opportunity. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the SEC seems like they don't have much of an interest in delaying things. Suddenly, they're not fighting tooth and nail over every single document. They're just handing things over and letting this case progress. So I think it's really important that we really analyze, why is the SEC changing their position? Has something changed fundamentally in this case where suddenly they do not feel the need to fight tooth and nail over every single document? Well guys, I want to start by pointing out this interview that I showed on this channel the other day. It was an interview of John Deaton where John Deaton was saying that he does not see any way possible that XRP in the secondary market can be declared a security of Ripple. This is a pretty profound statement by someone like John Deaton because he's actually involved in this case and has likely seen a lot of documents that we have not been privy to. Also, John Deaton has been very conservative throughout this entire thing, so the fact that he doesn't see any potential outcome where the SEC wins on XRP being declared a security is absolutely massive and really shows how weak the arguments the SEC brought are. He also goes on to say that in terms of damage control for the SEC from this point on, the best option for the SEC to limit the damage to their agency is to actually settle this case. This is also a massive statement out of John Deaton because he is someone who has been very skeptical of a settlement in this case, so the fact that he actually thinks it is highly probable now is really saying something about where we stand in this case right now. Now, I think it's pretty obvious why the SEC would want to settle this case. Obviously, they face huge issues with the Bill Hidden Ethereum free pass emails. They do not want these things to be public. If the SEC does continue this case and takes it to summary judgment, There is no doubt now that these emails will be made public, and that could be extremely damning for the agency. We also need to point out that right now it looks obvious to everyone that Ripple is going to win in large part at summary judgment. This could be a huge issue for the SEC going forward because it would create a precedent in this case going forward for almost every other crypto project out there. This could really hurt the SEC going forward in their authority over the cryptocurrency market and make it so every single crypto project out there has a complete playbook on how to beat the SEC in court. All of these things could be avoided on the SEC's front simply by settling this case with Ripple. If the SEC settles this case, no other crypto project will get the playbook because it'll all be kept confidential, and most importantly, they could create some kind of agreement with Ripple not to release the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails. The only real loss the SEC would take here is they would have to admit that XRP is not a security, but guys, they could still get a big fine from Ripple because that's just the way settlements work. The SEC could go on a big PR front talking about how they beat Ripple in court, even though ultimately Ripple would have been the real winning party because they would have certain clarity for XRP going forward. Now, with that said, a lot of people hear that and say, well, why wouldn't Ripple just take it the distance? It sounds like Ripple has no reason to settle. And this is the most important part. Guys, Ripple needs to settle this case. If Ripple can settle this case, then not only will they get certain clarity for XRP in the market, but a lot of people don't understand that a settlement would be more beneficial for Ripple than an outright win. And that's because even if Ripple was to win outright, theoretically, the SEC could still object to this decision and take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Even though I still think Ripple would win at the Supreme Court, the fact of the matter is that could be a 5-year ordeal. No one wants to be locked up in this for 5 more years. Maybe the SEC won't appeal the decision, maybe they will. But either way, the potential is there, and if Ripple settles right now, there are no appeals. So Ripple will never have to worry about the SEC again, and that would be absolutely massive. Not only would it give Ripple clarity now, but it would also protect Ripple from any potential 180s from the SEC later down the road. Now, a lot of people always say also that Ripple said at one point that they are fighting this case for all of crypto, and because of that, Ripple is going to take this thing the distance to create that playbook that I mentioned earlier that gives every single crypto project out there a path to beat the SEC. Guys, I really do think this is something Ripple would like to do, but I don't think it's realistic. Ripple has a fiduciary agreement to its shareholders to do the best thing they possibly can for their shareholders. That means that the shareholders of Ripple are entitled for Ripple to do the best thing for them and no other crypto project out there. Right now, the best thing for Ripple is to settle this case, get clarity that XRP is not a security, and move on. Although I do think Ripple wants to create clarity for the entire industry, I don't think it's in the best interest of Ripple shareholders, and because of that, Ripple has a legal obligation to take the soonest opportunity they can to get XRP clarity. I think that's an important point that people miss. I do think Ripple wants to create clarity for the whole industry, but they're not going to spend 5 years doing it, and they're certainly not going to risk XRP clarity to get clarity for other projects. So guys, I want to finish this video off and talk about a potential date where we should expect a settlement to happen by, because there really does become a point in this case where a settlement becomes unrealistic. In my opinion, it makes most sense that we see a settlement before the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails become public. It doesn't really make any sense to me that the SEC would settle this case after those emails become public, because those have obviously been a massive issue in this case, and honestly a bigger issue for the SEC than XRP being a security itself. The SEC has spent more time fighting trying to conceal these emails, so I just highly doubt that they're going to settle this case after they make these emails public. In terms of damage control for the SEC, which is the route they would be taking if they chose to settle this case, you just don't get that much damage control if the emails are still released. Now, because of that, it makes sense that we would see a settlement before the emails are released to the public. Now, I'm not sure entirely on which one of these dates we will see the emails released, but it either should be around November 15th or December 22nd. The reason I'm not sure which one of these dates is because I'm not sure if these emails are going to be filed redacted and then have to be made unredacted for the public to see, or whether or not they're going to be filed completely unredacted. If they are filed completely unredacted, we should expect the emails to be made public before November 15th, which could mean that a settlement could be imminent. With that said though, if these emails are filed but still covered up from the public eye, it might be until December 22nd until we see these emails made public. But guys, for a case that's been going on for over 2 years, this month difference in when we will see the emails really isn't much. And I want you guys to understand that we are pretty close to the last closing months for when we could expect a settlement to take place. Now, I think I honestly kind of am leaning more into a settlement now, especially with people like John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan also leaning into it. I just think it makes the most sense. If this case doesn't settle, it has to be purely political, or the SEC was told by a higher level agency not to settle the case to create a standard in the market. Obviously, this is all skeptical. It makes most sense from Ripple side and the SEC side to settle, so that's what I expect. Either way though, these are the dates I am watching. It needs to happen before the emails get made public. If the emails are made public, I would expect a settlement to be completely off the table. We're going the distance. Let's hope for a settlement. It's better for XRP holders, it's better for Ripple, and it's better for the SEC. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.